Oh, Jamar Chase with the dive. Because Garrett Wilson's wide open. Garrett Wilson, touchdown Bears. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the Water Juice channel, and welcome back to another episode of the post-2024 NFL Draft rebuilds. We've done every team so far that has taken a quarterback. We did the Bears with Caleb Williams at number 1. We did the number 2 pick, the Washington Commanders, taking Jaden Daniels. We did the number 3 pick, my favorite team, the New England Patriots, taking Drake May. We did the number 8 overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons, for some reason taking Michael Penix. And we've done the number 10 pick, the Minnesota Vikings, taking J.J. McCarthy. Now we are here, the final pick that we have to do with the quarterback in the first round is going to be the number 12 overall pick, the Denver Broncos, taking Bosif Nix. That's right, out of Oregon, Bo Nix arrives in Denver. Will he be the starter? Will it be Zach Wilson? I probably would assume it'd be Bo Nix, but you never really know. We're going to be rebuilding the Denver Broncos today. It shouldn't be too difficult because they do have a decent team around them. They do have some holes, obviously, because they're not that great of a team. That's why they're picking top 15. But that could also be the play of Russell Wilson. Whoever knows. Like, you're never going to know that. So, we're going to find out how good Bo Nix can actually be in Madden Simulation. If you guys go to enjoy, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club, and let's go rebuild the Bo Nix Denver Broncos. So here we are. It is 2024, even though technically we're still in 2023. That's how it's going to work. We're going to have a mixture of rookies from last year and rookies from this year in the same roster. That's just how it's going to work until we get the new game. So we are here in 2024, and we've got ourselves Bo Nix. He's going to have normal development because I do think that in the new Madden game, in Madden 25, I do believe that that only Caleb Williams will have superstar development. Drake May and Jaden Daniels will have star development, and everybody else will have normal. That's how I think it's going to go. That's how I think they're going to rate the quarterbacks. But I guess we'll end up and find out. But I am not going to give Bo Nix normal, or I'm not going to give him any development trait. He will have normal. And he's playing up to a 75. He's a 74 overall right now. And he's our future. We're building around him. We gotta win with him. That's basically what this rebuild's all about. The rest of the team is interesting. We have Javonte Williams, who's a good young running back. I do like him. We also have Estime, who they got from Notre Dame in the draft. They have Cortland Sutton. They don't have Jerry Jeudy anymore. They sent him away, which would have been nice to have Jerry Jeudy, but we don't have that luxury. We do have Cortland Sutton, who's a little bit older, but he is an 85 overall, so he's a nice veteran target for Bo Nix to throw to in the early days. We have Tim Patrick and Marvin Mims. I really want Marvin Mims to develop, so I'm going to put him over the rookie Troy Franklin, even though I want Troy Franklin to develop too. Josh Reynolds is never going to do anything for me, I don't think, so honestly, we should probably have Tim Patrick be number 2, and then Marvin Mims be 3, and then Franklin be 4, and then we could probably just trade Josh Reynolds. We could probably even trade either Cortland Sutton or Tim Patrick, honestly, because I want these younger guys to get some playtime. The offensive line's pretty good. We've got Quinn Miners. We just have to, I think, re-sign him. We've got McGlinchey. We've got Garrett Bowles. So the offensive line's in a really good spot. We just need to get a center and a left guard. Tight end is good with Greg Dulcich. The offense is in a good spot in general. The defense is at a different story. We need some good lockdown corners. Obviously, we have PS2. We have Levi Wallace. Not a whole lot after that. There's a couple decent players in here. Mathis is fine. Moss is fine. Abrams Drain is fine. But we need to get some actual studly development trait corners. Defensive line we need to go all in on because I just don't really think this is going to get the job done. These guys are okay, but they're not going to be Super Bowl champions unless they're on the bench. The safeties I like, but we could upgrade. The linebackers, I like Baron Browning. We're going to keep him around. Everybody else could pretty much go wherever they need to go. And I want Drew Sanders to play a little bit more, so we might have to either trade Alex Singleton or Cody Barton or just start one of them over, or start Drew Sanders over one of them. I don't know really which way to go. Probably we would start Drew Sanders over Cody Barton and then trade Cody Barton. But I don't know. I think Alex Singleton's in his 30s, isn't he? He's 29. He's 29 years old. That is an interesting thing. We're going to trade Josh Reynolds right off the bat because we just don't need him. He just doesn't need to be here. We got to focus on the young guys like Franklin and Marvin Mims. So we are going to just straight up trade Josh Reynolds. He's an 80 overall, so he should have a good amount of value. Shaq Leonard is 28. That's interesting. He's only 74, though. Man, he has fallen. He was an X factor at one point. And he's only 28. It's not like he's that old. That's kind of crazy. Elijah Mitchell, Jamal Williams, DeMonte Casey, James Lynch. None of these are really that good. But we're probably not going to get much more for this. I kind of want Shaq Leonard. We can turn him to an outside linebacker. He could be pretty decent. He's only 28, and he's not that expensive. I'm going to trade for Shaq Leonard, give the Bengals Josh Reynolds, even though they don't really need Josh Reynolds unless they don't re-sign T. Higgins or anything like that. So that frees up the room for Mims and Troy Franklin to play. And then we need to trade one of the middle linebackers. So we're probably going to trade Singleton. What can we get for Alex Singleton? Bobby Brown III, Nicholas Petit-Frere. We can't really get too much in the trade block or in the trade offer screen, so we're going to have to make our own trade. We need offensive line, preferably, because we're not going to get that good of a draft pick for Alex Singleton, so we might as well just go for a player. So let's see if we can grab ourselves. Let's go for a right guard, or no, a left guard, because center, you can find those pretty easily in the draft. Almost every single time you load up an auto-generated draft, there's at least 3 or 4 good centers. So usually there's good left guards as well, but it's easier to find centers. So let's look for a left guard that we can develop, preferably one that's got a development trait. Obviously, we can't have another guy that doesn't have a development trait. And I want one that's decently high overall. Evan Neal would be cool because he's not the same type of player as where's he at? Andrew Thomas, obviously. Evan Neal could be good. I might want to try to get Evan Neal. Is this going to be possible? Or do they value him too much? They probably value him a little bit too much for what I'm trying to give up. So we're not going to go Evan Neal. I might come back to that, but we're not going to go for him right now. Damian Lewis is interesting. He's 26. He's got 1 year left. We can re-sign him. Damian Lewis is not a bad not a bad offer. Or not a bad option, I should say. Siamalu, Kenyon Green. I think it might be the big boy. It might be Damian Lewis. Let's see what we can do for him. Is this going to be straight up? No, it's not straight up. What could I give them where it doesn't matter what I give them, because I don't really want to give them too much. I like Jonathan Cooper. Jonah Ellis is cool. They need a receiver. This would have been nice to give them what's his face? Josh Reynolds. It might just have to be a draft pick. It might just have to be a draft pick. Do they value McLaughlin? Jaleel McLaughlin. They do kind of, so we'll throw him into the deal. We don't really need him. He's never going to do anything for me. We currently have the 5th overall pick, but that's going to change, I would assume. Or maybe not. You never know. You never know. Let's go to like a 2026 third-round pick, and that gets us very close. So then we'll go to a 2025. No, we'll go to a 2026 6th-round pick, and that gets it very close. Okay, I'll give a 5. I wasn't hoping to give up a 5, but okay. So Singleton, McLaughlin, and a 3rd and a 5 from 2026. It gets us Damian Lewis. So that's hopefully our left guard figured out for the entirety of this rebuild, and that frees up playtime for all those guys. We will now generate the best lineup. So that will put Mims at number 3, Franklin number 4. There we go. Damian Lewis goes to left guard. Now we just need to get a center. Dolchus will start at tight end. And then on defense, we got Shaq Leonard in here. We'll keep him at middle linebacker for right now. Hold on. Let's do this and then that. Okay, perfect. We'll keep him in middle linebacker for right now. We'll see what Jonathan Cooper does. If he doesn't start to develop, then we'll change Shaq Leonard to outside linebacker. But for right now, I like the middle linebackers that we got because we need Drew Sanders to develop. There's still a lot of work to do with this team, on defense especially, but we're getting there. It's only year number 1. We haven't even simulated yet. I'm curious to see how the team does. We're going to stay with the Bronco playbooks, but as we need to adjust, we will go to Kansas City if we absolutely have to. I hope we don't. I hope the Denver playbook is good enough to get us the develop that we need, but usually it's not. Usually the base team playbooks are not what we need to do. We need to switch up, but right now we're going to stay with Denver. I have loaded in an auto-generated draft class for the season. And that's going to be it for this part. We are going to cut to week number 8 and then get all the simulating done, all the scouting done, all that kind of good stuff, and see how Bo Nix in this offense is doing. I have a feeling that we're going to not be very good because the defense is not very good. But we'll find out. I'll see you guys at week 8. Season 1 has not gone our way so far, but maybe that's a good thing. We are 1-6 on the season. It seems like the Denver playbook with this group of talent is not ideal for a good simulation team. But that's okay, because that means we're going to be picking pretty highly most likely, which can get us a really, really good player that can in turn help us in a couple of years win a Super Bowl, which is the obvious goal. So let's start with the national focus here. We've got corner and middle linebacker is our expertise. And corner is a strength of the class, so we might as well just go corner. We don't necessarily need a bunch of corners, but if there's a strength that we have, we might as well go for it. There is a couple of interesting people at the top of this board. I haven't even seen this yet. Nigel Presley, a 6'3 playmaker out of Alabama, wide receiver, doesn't have elite speed. If he had great to elite speed, I would totally be all in on this guy. Doesn't mean he's not going to be very good. It just means that he's not going to be like the top of auto-generated prospects. This guy, on the other hand, Kendrick Hill, is a 5'10 Virginia Tech safety. Very interesting. He's got A, man coverage, B, pursuit. I'm assuming that hit power is also an A, but he's a hybrid, so maybe it's a B. I don't know. This guy's very interesting as well. You don't usually see a lot of strong safeties at the top of your boards. Then you got Akeem Palmer, who would be an amazing player to have, especially because he's a very good athlete. I'm probably going to use some of my focus players on him when we get to week 11, because he does look very good. And then you got this guy right here, Angelo Timmons, 6'3 corner out of FAU with great to elite speed. Oh, baby, that might be our first-round pick. There's a lot of good players in this class, or at least on paper there seems to be a lot of good players. Who knows actually how good they are. But we will simulate to week 11 now, and we will find out just how good some of those prospects actually are. We also have to look at the negotiations. Who needs new contracts? I haven't looked at that at all yet, so we need to see what's going on there. And we are currently 1-7, probably about to be 1-8, going up against the Bills. So, yes, we are 1-8 on the season. That's probably got to be worse than the league, right? I know the Chargers only had 1 win when we cut back, but they can't be as bad. Okay, they're 2-7. So right now, are we the worst team in football? We are. The Bears are right there. The Giants are right there. A lot of teams have 2 wins. But only us. We're the only ones that have 1 win. So that's nice. Currently, we sit with the number 1 overall pick. All right, so negotiation time. Brandon Jones needs a new contract. Damian Lewis, we knew about, needed a new contract. Shaq Leonard needs a new contract. I will bring him back. Okay, so it's not that bad. We're going to... Ooh, I probably should just re-sign Patrick Surtain. I know he's got his 5th-year option, but I probably should just decline that and just pay him because he's going to be more expensive. I probably should do that. So let's get Shaq Leonard back because I do want him back. 3-year deal is a little crazy, but I'll do it. We'll go for like 2.5 and 2.5. That shouldn't be too bad. He's going to come back. $37 million. We'll get Damian Lewis back. We'll get him on a 4-year deal, and we will accept it. Yes, he will. $32 million to bring back Brandon Jones. We'll get him on a 5-year deal. We are running a little bit low on money, but we can always restructure a couple of contracts. We don't need anybody else here except for Patrick Surtain. Now, we'll keep that $25 million. We'll see how that plays at the end of the season with that whole declining the 5th-year option and just signing Surtain. Choose the focus players. Here we go. So we've got up to 95% on Angelo Timmons. How good is he? Is he as good as we thought he was at the beginning? I mean, he looks very good. He's not like elite in anything, but he does look very, very good. I'm going to use Akeem Palmer as one of them. Obviously, he's just too intriguing. We don't need a tackle. We do need possibly a free safety from Ohio State. That adds to it. I'm going to add Demario Alston to the list, and then I'm probably going to go to either defensive line or centers. And, okay, maybe I was wrong. There's only one first-round center, and he's also from Ohio State. Tracy Boykin, welcome to the Denver Broncos. We're going to probably draft you. I guess I was wrong. I guess not every draft is a good draft for centers. But we need to basically the big positions of need are, hey, we actually beat the Vikings, and we have a breakout quarterback scenario here for Bo Nix. He's only going from normal to star, so this is fairly simple. It's not guaranteed because that's how Madden works, but it is a lot simpler to go from normal to star than it is from star to superstar or from superstar to superstar X Factor. We did get a nice little cheeky win over the Vikings. Can we beat the Browns and get development trait? I would love a development trait for Bo Nix. That would help out a lot. We lose the game, so I don't think... It doesn't necessarily mean we didn't get it, but I don't think he got it. He didn't get it. Although I think if you lose the game when you're the quarterback, I think that means you didn't get it, even if you had a good... Even if you put up a lot of points. I've never seen a loss... I've never seen a quarterback that had a breakout scenario, and the game that they needed the breakout... or needed to have a good game for the breakout, that they lost and actually still got it. I've never seen that happen in Madden. So it doesn't happen here again. We're not very good. Bo Nix is up to a 75, though, so that's nice. Marvin Mims is star development. That's totally cool. What do we want to do here? Do we want to change anything up? Probably not. Everybody's just playing down with bad morale because we're not winning games. I'm going to simulate to the end of the season, and we'll see if we continue to lose all these games, which I think we will, but knowing my luck, we're probably going to win like 3 or 4 games that we shouldn't and then be out of the race for the #1 overall pick, which would be very frustrating because we're not that good of a team. But we'll see what happens. I will catch you guys at the end of year number 1. We ended season 1 with 4 wins. I'd say that's a couple wins too many, but... At the end of the day, we're still one of the worst teams in all of football. We'll still have a pretty good pick, and I'm assuming top 3 or 4. I don't know for sure. I'm hoping that it's at least top 3 or 4. But as we take a look at the stats, Bo Nix had a brutal rookie season. That's got to be just the playbook. There's no way that Bo Nix is actually going to throw 29 interceptions and under 4,000 yards, 24 touchdowns. That's got to be just a bad playbook. We're going to have to change to Kansas City, aren't we? You can't be having that. We can't be having that bad of a season for Bo Nix. He's not going to develop. He's just simply not going to develop. 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns for Javonte Williams on the ground. 1,000 yards for Cortland Sutton with 5 touchdowns. Marvin Mims did okay. Tim Patrick did okay. It looks like Troy Flanken didn't even get on the field. Or at least he didn't catch a ball, which is kind of annoying. Defensively, Drew Sanders led the team in tackles. Not what I expected, but I do like it. With 124, 86 for Caden Stearns, 85 for Browning, and Damari Mathis. Tackle for loss leader was again Drew Sanders, along with John Franklin Myers. Browning and Allen both had 13. Sack leader was Browning with 7, Allen was 6. Interception leader was Levi Wallace, of all people. Where's PS2? Did he not get a single pick? Wow, he had a bad year. 62 tackles and nothing else. Yeah, the Denver Bronco defensive play, but we might need to change both playbooks because those are not ideal situations for our young players to actually be good. We're going to have to figure some things out. That is for sure. So we end year number 1 with 4 wins. I don't know where that puts us in terms of the draft picks. We'll take a look at that when we look at the mock drafts. We'll see where we're projected to take. It is the Cowboys and the Chiefs. Oh, what a surprise. Cowboys and the Chiefs. Although that's actually more rare nowadays than it was at the beginning of the cycle, because at the beginning it was always Chiefs and Cowboys. But as the Madden 24 cycle has gone on, you've gotten different variations where it's Cowboys versus some other team, Chiefs versus some other team. But it's nice to see back as the original. The Super Bowl goes to Dallas. Dak gets the MVP of both the Super Bowl and of the regular league MVP. Kyle Shanahan, Coach of the Year. Joe Mixon and Josh Allen, Defensive and Offensive Player of the Year. The Jaguars, Josh Allen. The Athletic, Josh Allen. Jordan Addison and Jalen Carter are your Rookies of the Year. What are you going to do? Until we get to the Madden game, they're going to be the mixture of both classes, so you can't really do much about that. It's all right. It's not that big of a deal. We go to the offseason where we have to make the big decision about Patrick Surtain. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to decline his player option. We're going to decline his player option, and then we're going to just extend him because he's up to $21.5 million now. He's going to just keep getting more expensive as he gets better. So we're going to reject the player option. Reject it. And $132 million is what we have to pay Patrick Surtain. We might as well just pay him now. Because, can I pay him right now? I can franchise tag him. I don't want to... Oh, I can franchise tag him for 137 or 13.7. Let's just franchise tag Patrick Surtain this season. We might as well just pay him next season during the regular season because he's just going to keep getting more and more expensive. That 137 million is going to go up to like 180 or 200 million by the time we get to the end of the second season because he's just going to keep getting that good. So we might as well just do that. And I don't think I'm going to re-sign anybody else there. So let's just go to free agency and see if there's anybody on the defensive line that we can grab. Or maybe there's a center available in free agency. Amari Cooper, we don't necessarily need. I don't think. Do we need Amari Cooper? We have Sutton. We have Tim Patrick. We have Marvin Mims. And we have Troy Franklin. I don't think we need Amari Cooper unless we trade either Sutton or Patrick. Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen's interesting because we have Shaq Leonard, who we just extended his contract. We have Drew Sanders. Well, we can move one of them to outside. No, it doesn't really make any sense. Willie Gay. I always go for Willie Gay. I'm not going to go for him this time, trust me. I'd love to, but it doesn't really fit what our team needs. We need center, and we need Biotis is here, but he doesn't have a development trait. That kind of hurts. Cesar Ruiz. We need center, and we need defensive line. Danico Autry. Not really anything there. D-tackle. I mean, we could bring Greg Gaines in. Wasn't he already a Bronco? I think he was at one point. Bryce Huff is here. That's an interesting one. I kind of like the Bryce Huff one. I just signed James Houston in my 10-year Patriots rebuild, so I'm not going to do that here. What do I want to do? I don't think there's anybody that I want to go in on. I mean, maybe a corner? Is there a young corner that we could get? Might help the team. I don't think so. Everybody else here is a little bit older and really not wanting to be here anyway. And then the safety, we might as well not spend any money because I just don't think Patrick Queen doesn't make any sense for us unless it's just the fact that he's so good that we can make it make sense. Because then we can move Shaq Leonard to the out. It just doesn't make any sense for us because I like the two outside linebackers. I like Baron Browning and I like Cooper. I like Cooper and I like Browning. Not because they're Ohio State Buckeyes, because I think they're good players. Also because they're Ohio State Buckeyes, but I do like them both. It's just the fact that I want Drew Sanders to develop, so we don't need Patrick Queen. We could use an extra strong safety, though. I'm not going to sign anybody. I'm not going to sign anybody in free agency. I'm just going to let it ride. And we're going to go to the draft and draft some positions of need. I also need to remember to change to Kansas City's playbook. And we'll probably change... Should we just change to Dallas's defense? Or should we change to somebody else? Usually Denver's defensive playbooks are pretty good. But those numbers... We can't be having Patrick Surtain get 62 tackles and no interceptions. As the number one lockdown corner, no interceptions? You're getting targeted every day? I can't have that. So... We need to think about a defensive playbook. We could go Buffalo. We could go Dallas. Those are the two obvious ones. We could go Baltimore. That could be an interesting one. So mock draft number 5, what's our pick? We actually have the number 1 overall pick. That's huge. That is really, really big because that gives us the option, because we're not going to take a tackle. So that gives us the option to trade down and get so much more for this first round pick. Because if we had number 2 or number 3, it wouldn't obviously have the near as much value as the number 1 overall pick does. So we're going to be able to get a lot for this first overall pick. That is huge. That's actually really massive. I like that. Okay, so, and Nigel Presley wasn't even at the top of that board. So we need to know a little bit more about, I want to know about Keem Palmer. I want to know about, who else? I want to know about Demario Alston. And then I probably should know about that center, right? Or maybe we go somewhere else. We got him up to 80. Ooh, he actually doesn't look too bad. But now he's moved to a 2-3. Interesting. I should probably know a little bit more about him. So let's find out. Those will be my 3 guys. The same 3 guys as we had in the beginning. Just so we can know a little bit more about them. And having that number 1 pick, man, that is actually really, really big. Really, really big. Especially in a class where there's offensive tackles as the top picks in the draft, or projected top picks. That's really big. All right, prospects. So we know that Akeem Palmer is a round 1 to 2 true talent, so he's not as good as I once thought. Demario Alston is a round 1 true talent, and the center is around 1 to 2. Okay, good to know. Good to know about those guys. That makes it easier because I'm probably not going to take any of them now. Now we can actually do a trade down and get a lot for it. So we have the number 1 overall pick. We are going to trade that pick away. What can we get back in return? We can get back the 8th overall pick from Houston, along with 2 extra first-round picks. Number 21. We're probably going to have to take a pick that's later in the first round if we want extra high-round picks, like the Vikings are giving us 3 firsts, 3 seconds. That's probably what we should do. Because if we're going to go for a pick where we don't trade down super far, we're not going to get as much value in the end. Washington's giving me a decent offer. I think what I'm going to do is probably trade with Washington because they're giving me... Eagles have 2 second-round picks. That's interesting. I'm going to... Philly's an interesting trade. I'm probably not going to do it, but it's 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks. It's only really 2 second-round picks, or it's only extra 1 second-round pick because we get 2 this year, and I don't really want that. I'm going to go with Washington. We're only trading down to 20. We get their first and second this year. We get their first and second next year, and we get their first and second the year after. So, Washington, good luck with the number 1 overall pick. Thank you for the haul. Hopefully you suck next year. They take the tackle, Anthony Rubin, with the first overall pick, then the other tackle, then Deion Brooks. It's probably going to go now the way that the mock draft had it. I'm assuming that corner is going to go at some point, unless he falls all the way to me. That'd be pretty awesome because I'd take him. Will Davidson, Damian Gathers, B.J. Hillman, Demario Alston. I thought about taking him, but he's gone now. That middle linebacker did look pretty good as well. Oh, wow, that corner actually did fall to me. There he is, Angelo Timmons. He actually fell to me. Do I want to take Angelo Timmons? I think I might. He's got good numbers. He's a good athlete, 4.35 speed. I'm going to take Angelo Timmons. Look at that. We trade down from 1 to 20 and still pick up a really good corner to pair alongside Patrick Surtain. That's a big pickup. That is a real big pickup. All right, now we don't pick again until pick 20 of the second round. So we might as well just skip to our next pick because I'm not going to trade into the second round. Okay, so who's available? Is that center still available? He got taken. Okay. He got taken. That's all right. We can adjust. A lot of receivers on the board. We don't need a tight end. I'm going to stick with Glover or with Dulcich. Javier Bingham. A zone cover. What's his archetype? He's a field general. B hit power, B play rec, A zone coverage. He's got decent speed. Javier Bingham might be a good role-playing linebacker. I like that pickup in the second round. Okay. Good pickup in the second round. And he's from Alabama, so you know he's going to be good. All right. Top of the third round. A lot of wide receivers on the board. A lot of corners on the board. And there's a Lionel Mayo? I'm assuming it's Lionel. Where's he from? Northern Iowa. It's probably Lionel. I'm going to call him Lionel because the only other time I've seen that name spelled is from Lionel Messi. So I'm going to call him Lionel. It could be Lionel. I don't know. You're going to get some character in your name, buddy. I'm going to call you Lionel. But I don't even know if I'm going to draft him. So why am I even worrying about how to say his name? I don't think he's that good. He doesn't look amazing. Alex Walters. Poor speed. The other dude at least had good speed. Who's this guy? Darrell Livingston. Looks okay. He could be decent. That's a nice option. What about Steve Harden, James's brother? I mean, he's not bad, but he's also not great. It's probably between those two guys right there. Or maybe Alex Reese throws his name into the ring. Because these numbers could be good. We don't know what his... It's probably around a B, I would assume, for some of those that we don't know about. Alex Reese. It's probably between Alex Reese and the safety Darrell Livingston. Do we have any other third-round picks? No, we have a fourth-round pick. There's a better chance that Reese makes it to the fourth round than Livingston does. I'm going to take Livingston. Darrell Livingston, welcome to Denver. I don't know how good you're going to be. You have a development trade, so that's helpful. And we can move you to strong safety, right? What's your hit power? B to D? We could probably move you to strong safety. Or you can move the other dude to strong safety. Who knows? All right, I'll take that. I will take that. Now we go to pick 16 of the fourth round. I don't think that guard's going to be there anymore. And it looks like he is gone. That's okay, though. I think we got the better player. At least hopefully we did. What else should we go for here? Do we need to get another linebacker? We're pretty stacked at linebacker. David Giraldo? Elite speed. You know how I feel about elite speed linebackers. He's probably got normal development, though. But we are into the, what is this, the fifth round or the fourth round? I'm going to take him. Elite speed's too much to pass up on. He's got 86 speed, 89 acceleration. That's good depth. That's very good depth on the outside. That is, that's round 4. That's fine. I'm fine with that pickup. And then going to round 5, this will probably be the last pick that I make. So we got to make it count here. Let's go for, let's look at wide receiver. Is there going to be a wide receiver that's amazing? Jonathan Sweet, a deep threat from Yale. 4.3 speed out of Yale? Jonathan Sweet, I got to take that. 94 speed, 94 acceleration. That's a burner. And he's from Yale? He's smart? Oh, that's a huge pickup. That is a huge, huge pickup. I'll take that any day of the week. That's a fast white guy? And he's smart, too? Man, that's crazy. All right. I'm happy with that. I am happy with those draft picks. 76 overall for Angelo Timmons. And remember, we traded down and still picked him up, so that's awesome. Javier Bingham's a 73, but that's fine because he doesn't really need to start. Livingston's a 75. Let me move him to strong safety. Does he go up or down? He's a 75 right now at free safety. Does he go up or down at strong safety? He goes to, stays the same, so perfect. He can start right away over Cade Stern. Geraldo's a 66. That's kind of a miss. Sweet's a 71, and then they took a bunch of 60s overall. Okay, so we got away with a pretty good class. The best player in the class was a fullback. 2 fullbacks, actually. Oh, this class was buns. This class was cheeks. Oh, my God. Okay. 2 fullbacks are your highest overall players in the entire class? That's a cheek class. That's garbage. Straight garbage. Okay. Let's get to season number 2. I got to remember. I can't forget. We got to go in here and change the schemes. So let's go to... Oh, I don't know. How about a vertical power run? And how about, 96 on a base 3-4. I'll take that any day of the week. And then we'll go to Kansas City. And we'll probably go to Dallas. Probably. You know what? Let's go to Detroit. Let's go to Detroit for defensive playbooks. That might get us a little bit better. Okay, so we've changed our playbooks. We've changed the schemes. We need to adjust the lineup to make sure everybody is where they need to be. Perfect. Marvin Mims now jumps to number 2. Franklin's right there. Dolce is going to have a crazy season now. We still have Mustafa at center, which I guess is fine for right now because it has to be. And then on the defense, we've got Sanders needs to start, and so does Shaq Leonard. So we'll keep that there. We could probably trade Cody Barton for something decent. Levinson will start at number 1 strong safety with Jones. Then we've got Wallace and Timmons. Okay, we're looking pretty decent there. All right, we could probably trade Cody Barton for something, can't we? Like a defensive lineman, maybe? No offense to Cody Barton. You know what? I don't care. Offense to Cody Barton. You're not going to be that good. So, what can we get for Cody Barton? Not a whole lot, can we? A 78 overall Zach Frazier at center, which is higher than what we have with Mustafa, so maybe that's the idea. But then Mason Smith here from Michigan, but he's only a 72. Oh, Cody, you can't really get us much, can you? I'll take the 78 overall center. Send him to Pittsburgh. That at least gets us a higher overall starting center. I know he's on a development trait, which kind of sucks, but neither is Mustafa, so it's not like we lose the development trait by starting him. Generate the best lineup, and then Zach Frazier now starts at center. You know what? That's cool. I'm cool with that. And that allows for Bingham, the backup middle linebacker, now to get some little bit more play time. So that's going to be it for this. I will see you guys the end of season number 2. Hopefully this Kansas City playbook develops not only Bo Nix, but the rest of the offense. Season 2 also did not go our way. We won 4 games again. We changed the playbooks to Kansas City and Detroit. I don't think Detroit was the problem. Maybe it was, because Kansas City always works. But it didn't work this time, which I'm a little bit worried about. As long as Bo Nix developed. Okay, so he did have similar yards, a lot more touchdowns, and a lot less interceptions. Actually, I think he only had maybe one more touchdown than last year, but a significantly less amount of interceptions, which is a very good thing. It's a very good progress. So we'll get Bo Nix up there, don't worry. And Javonte continues to be a very, very quality running back. No 1,000-yard receiver. Greg Dulcich didn't even go that crazy this year. Very interesting. The Kansas City playbook, maybe it doesn't work for everybody. I don't know. This is a good experiment type thing now, but Drew Sanders does a good job. Darrell Livingston right up there in the second with tackles. Interesting to see that. John Franklin Myers, 20 for loss. Sack leader was Browning with 7.5, 7 for Franklin. And then a lot more interceptions, but still 0 interceptions for our big dude. Surtain, what are you doing? You're the number 1 corner. You're basically a 99. How are you not getting any interceptions and barely any tackles? Like, what is going on with you? I'm very interested in what is happening with Patrick Surtain. But since we were also a 4-win team again this year, we might have the number 1 overall pick for the back-to-back season, which I think might be the first time in a rebuild I've had the, at least where I haven't traded up for the number 1 overall pick. I've had the first overall pick naturally back-to-back years. I think for the first time. I'm saying all this. I don't know if I actually have the number 1 overall pick. Levinson goes up to 79, which is nice. That's going to end up being a very good draft pick for me, I think. The Cowboys are in back-to-back Super Bowls, this time against the Ravens and not the Chiefs. Will the Cowboys win back-to-back Super Bowls? They will not. They lose to Baltimore. The Ravens are on top of the football world once again. Good for them. Good for Lamar. He gets a championship. Good for him. Dak wins back-to-back MVPs, though. Lamar gets Super Bowl MVP. Brandon Ayuk and Josh Allen again gets Defensive Player of the Year. That's crazy. Nigel Presley, one of the top receiver in the draft, he gets the Rookie of the Year on offense. And Marco Carson, D-tackle for the Cardinals, gets the Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right. Good to know. Let's get to the offseason here. There was a ton of players that I had to renegotiate with. I did that at Week 11. So I renegotiated with a lot of different people and brought a lot of guys back. But we have $31 million or $32 million, and I saved these 2 guys, Zach Wilson and Tim Patrick. All these guys I'm not going to bring back. Zach Wilson and Tim Patrick. I saved them because Zach Wilson, I'm obviously not going to pay Zach Wilson $28 million to be a backup. So I'm not going to do that. Tim Patrick, on the other hand, he's not that expensive. He's not that expensive. He wouldn't be that much money. The question is, do we want him to be a role player? Because we have Sutton, who's starting to get bad, though, but is just negative morale. We have Troy Franklin, who I trust. We have Marvin Mims, who I trust. We have the rookie that I drafted as well. And then Tim Patrick's right there. So do we just sign Tim Patrick and keep him around? I think I might, because he is so cheap. If he was like $10 million or $12 million, I probably wouldn't go for it. But because he's so cheap, I can give him like 3.5 and 2.5, and he's going to come back. That's barely anything in the grand scheme of things. Now, Zach Wilson, on the other hand, I wonder if I can trade you for something. Is there a team that needs a quarterback? Donovan Peoples-Jones, Darnell Mooney, and Trey Taylor. We don't need a strong safety now that we have Darrell Livingston, but we can maybe turn this dude into a corner. Let me counteroffer this. Can he play corner? Trey Taylor. He's 5'10", 91 speed, 81 zone, well, 83 zone coverage. His man coverage isn't great. Can he play corner? He could probably play corner. I'm going to take Trey Taylor. Zach Wilson can go to the Raiders. We'll take Trey Taylor aboard and maybe turn him into a corner, and he could probably be a pretty good player for us. So let's go take a look at our new player. Let's go take a look at our new player. Where is he at? Levinson has superstar development. Browning goes up to superstar as well. That's awesome. Shaq Leonard's starting to regress a little bit. That's really, really cool. Okay, where is Trey Taylor? Here he is. Trey Taylor, can you play corner? Probably can't be too bad, right? Move him to corner. What's he end up being? He ends up being a 78. That's honestly not as bad as I thought it could have been. He's not going to take over for Livingston, so having Trey Taylor at corner is pretty good. That's a free corner right there. And we have Timmons and we have Taylor. I'm actually going to have Levi Wallace drop down a little bit so that Timmons and Taylor can get a little bit of playtime with Mathis and Surtain. So, boom. We just grabbed ourselves an extra corner on the team. I'll take that. And the rest of the negotiations, I don't think we need to bring back little Jordan Humphrey. Nobody else here. The kicker and the punter that can do whatever they want. Okay, let's go to free agency. And remember, I still don't even know what our draft pick is. So we could have the number 1 overall pick. We could have the number 2 overall pick. The number 4 over. We could have anything, really. 27 million. 2 is available. That'd be pretty nice to have. A lot of offensive linemen. Landon Dickerson. We have Damian Lewis and we have Quinn Miners. We could move Dickerson to center and take over for Zach Frazier. But do I want to waste... Because I only have 27 million. Do I want to waste it on Landon Dickerson or do I want to spend it on something else? Because remember, we still need to sign Patrick Surtain. Don't forget about that. We still need to sign Patrick. We franchise tagged him and he still had a year left and stuff. So it's not like he's extended fully yet, but we still need to get him back on the team. Although at this point, he's not doing anything for us, so why should we bring him back? I don't think there's anybody else that I want to bring in. Nah, everybody else is basically useless. So it's really only Landon Dickerson that I would even consider signing. But if we go for him, that would give us with $11 million. Oh, Landon, you're super good. No, we don't need him. We don't need him. I know he's great. He's a great player. We need to focus on saving that money. That might end up coming back to bite me, but we will keep the money, not spend it on Landon Dickerson, and hopefully next season spend it on Patrick Surtain. Let's get to the draft, though, because I actually want to know what my draft pick is. I could have checked it already, but might as well just save it for the mock draft. What draft pick do I have? Do I have back-to-back number 1 overall picks, which would be pretty insane? We still have the commander pick, too, so we got to figure out how good the commanders were. Mock draft number 5. Ooh, so we don't have the number 1 overall pick, but we have the number 2 overall pick, which is good because they're going to take a tackle. We don't need a tackle, so that leaves us with basically whatever else we want to take. Where is that commander pick at? The Commanders were a good team, so they made the playoffs. They have us at pick 23. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. And there's a D tackle right here that could be pretty good. Okay, so I think my game plan is stick at number 2 and take somebody, and then stick at 23 and take somebody. So let's finish scouting Daquan Cleary because I want to know a little bit more about him. And then let's also scout... Oh, let's see. Who else should we scout? Probably some of the D tackles and defensive linemen. I would assume, yeah, defensive linemen. That's probably a good idea. I also want to know about Antoine Tucker a little bit more. And here's that D tackle, Daquan Weston. Let's find out a little bit more about him. So those will be the 3 guys that we use. Hopefully that Daquan Cleary guy is good enough to take at number 2. I really hope so. Because we could even move him to the defensive line if he's good enough. He could set him down in the defensive line. What's his true talent? He is a round 1 talent. That's not great for a number 2 overall pick. I mean, he looks good. He's not a number 2 overall pick. There's got to be somebody better. It's kind of annoying. I don't want to trade out of the number 2 overall pick. What about the other guys that I scouted? Antoine Tucker is a round 1 guy. And then, where's the other dude at? He is, did I pass him? Or did I not get him fully scouted? There he is. Oh, that's not the right guy. Where is he at? There he is. Daquan Weston, 6'4", D tackle. He's a decent athlete. He's got A play rec and A power moves and A hit power. He looks like a good D tackle. I probably will stick at 23 and take that dude. It's just a matter of what I do at number 2. I probably have to trade out of it now because Daquan Cleary, he might end up having a development trait and being a decent player, but I don't think he's number 2 worthy. I feel like I'd be reaching if I took him. They do stick at Falcons stick at number 1 and take Jamario Singleton. I just can't rationalize taking that dude at number 2. He might end up being a good player, but I just can't in my mind get around taking him at number 2. He just doesn't seem like he's worth it, and I don't want to reach. So what we're gonna have to do is probably trade with the Raiders. 17's not that far of a drop back. The Patriots are at number 8. That could be pretty good, because then we still get a first round pick next year. Although we could move back to 12, get a first round pick, and get a 4th in 2027, which we're getting a 5 from this year. I think I might do the Panthers. I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of first-round picks and second-round picks that I could grab. We still have the Commanders' first-round pick and second-round pick from next year, so we're still good on that. I think I'm going to take the Carolina picks. We're going to take number 12 this year. We're going to take a first-round pick next year and a 4th in 2027. So we trade back to number 12. Panthers get the number 2 overall pick. They take Braden McKinley. There goes Daquan Cleary. But now we have 3 first-round picks for next season. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with that. And we can still take that center, I think, right? He's still there? Marcus Huff is still there. We know he's a good corner, but I'm pretty comfortable with our corners. I'm pretty comfortable with the corners that we have. I think I'm just going to grab the center. Antoine Tucker. We're going to have him, and then maybe he's better than Zach Frazier. Maybe he's not. I don't know. But if he's not better than Zach Frazier, he at least gives us good depth. And then at 23, we can take that D tackle, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, Daquan Weston. I'm going to take him. I think he's good enough to grab. He is a development trait. I did re-sign Daquan Jones, or whatever his name is, the D tackle that we had there. I forget his name. I did re-sign him, but maybe he's better. Maybe the guy that we just drafted is better. Who knows? Hopefully he is. Terrence Richards, 5'11 deep threat with elite speed, elite acceleration. Taking him. 97 speed, 90 acceleration. Ooh! That's a burner. Terrence Richards. Big second-round pick up at wide receiver. Another wide receiver from Oregon. Okay, I didn't even realize that. And now we have, this is the Commanders' second-round pick that they gave us. So we need to use this probably on somebody on the defensive line. Matthias Galindo. What a name. But he's not amazing. He's not bad. He's not a great athlete, which is a little concerning. He's not bad. A block shed, A hit power, A play rec, B awareness. I mean, he's an option. Is he the best option? Probably not. Reggie Johnson at D tackle. We just took a D tackle. Probably not smart to take another one. Hal Maine? What a name. He also looks decent. But we have Dulcich, so I'm fine at tight end. There's a couple 3 to 4 tight end or corners. You know what? I'm gonna take that guy. Where's he at? Matthias Galindo. We're gonna take him. Who knows how good he actually is? He's only normal development, but he's decently rated with some of his numbers. So we'll take him and see how he develops. And now we get to this position where we're in the 3rd round. We could take one of these corners. Or we could take... There's Josh Waters. I looked at him before we took the end. He could be okay. Niles Byram? What a weird name, but I like it. I just don't know how good some of these guys are going to end up being. Greg Hunt... He's got good speed, elite acceleration, but he doesn't have the skills. He's just a physical guy. Devin Charles. Devin Charles is decent. I'm going to take Devin Charles. Look at that. 85 straight. 85 acceleration for a D tackle is kind of crazy. We can maybe move him defensive end. You never know. And now we pick it. Second pick of the 4th round, and this is probably going to be the last pick that I make. probably going to be... There's Devin Dobbins is still available. I was going to take him in the 3rd round, but glad that I didn't because he doesn't look amazing. Who else is available? Who else is available? Nobody else that really pops out. Let's just go to corner because we have them pretty much all the way scouted. So is there anybody that's like sneaky good or anything? No, probably not. I think everybody that was sneaky good got taken. Tyrell Harris from Ohio State with poor speed. I can't take a corner with poor speed. Brian Harper, 6 foot, marginal speed, elite acceleration. I'm not going to take a corner. None of these guys look that good. Let's just take a flyer on somebody, whoever it may be. Let's just take, I don't know, maybe Sherrod Brooks, 6'4". Yeah, let's take Sherrod Brooks. Whatever. I don't know. This draft class I don't think is very deep. So let's get out of here and hope that season 3 actually gives us more than 4 wins, because we had 4 wins the first 2 years. We're in Kansas City's playbook. It didn't go our way in year number 1 of using it. It didn't go our way, but maybe this year it will. So we got a 75 overall in Antoine Tucker, a 74 in Daquan Weston, a 77 in Terrence Riz. He's going to be a stud. Galindo's a 74. That's pretty cool. And Devin Charles is 72. Does he go up at defensive end? Does he go up at defensive end? He's a 72 right now. But if I move him to left end, does he go up? He's a 71. That's not that big of a difference for me to change him back. So we'll keep him at 71. And then the rest of the guys are kind of whatever. Brooks is a 69. Whatever. NFL total class, 79 overall Northcutt. This class was kind of buns as well. So the first 2 draft classes have not been that good. They've been, I mean, that one was a little bit better than the first one. But they both have not been that great. Not that great. And we get to year number 3. What's the team going to look like here? What is the team going to look like? We've got ourselves Bo Nix at a 79 overall. We've got a good offensive line, good receivers to throw to. I mean, my man Richards is already better than Patrick, or at the same level as Patrick, so we're going to keep him there. Then on defense, we've got a decent enough linebacking core. Is it Daquan Jones? It's DJ Jones, darn it. I knew it started with a D. Charles is 71. He's just not high enough overall yet. The corners are looking pretty solid, but I do want to move Levi Wallace down so that we get Timmons and Taylor. Livingston will start at strong safety like he should. Okay, we'll see how good this team does this year. I don't know how good it is. Hopefully it's better than 4 wins, but remember, we have 2 extra first-round picks. We have the Panthers' first-round pick and the other Commanders' first-round pick. So even if we do pretty good, hopefully they do bad, and we still get some pretty good picks. But I will see you guys at the end of year number 3, and hopefully, finally, the Kansas City playbook takes effect. It looks like the playbook has finally taken effect. We won the division at 11-6. Technically, we tied the division because the Chiefs and the Chargers both won 11 games as well. But we're at the top of it, so technically we won it. We are hosting a playoff game against the Chargers. But the good news is we actually won more than 4 games here in year number 3. I'm super happy about that. The stats on the season, it seems like this is what Bo Nix is just going to be. He's just going to be a guy who throws almost 4,000 yards, who throws over 20 touchdowns, and throws a lot of interceptions. That just seems like what he's going to become as an NFL quarterback. But hey, if that gets us a Super Bowl, at the end of the day, that's okay. Because if we have good players around him, we win a championship. I don't care. He can throw all the interceptions in the world he wants. If we win a championship, it doesn't matter. Javonte Williams had his best season yet. Tim Patrick had a really, really good year. The interesting thing is, Greg Dulcich is not getting the yards that I thought he would get as the tight end. We're in the Kansas City playbook. This is really strange. I'm very confused about that. But it looks like we're winning games, so I guess it doesn't matter. Drew Sanders again leads the team in tackles. No surprise there. Darrell Livingston is going to end up becoming one of my favorite players I've drafted because he's a stud. Damari Mathis had a good year. Brandon Jones had a good year. Browning had a really good year. Franklin Myers again leads the team in tackles for loss. Sack leader was Browning with 10.5. Myers had 7.5. So did Zach Allen. Cooper 4.5. Surtain finally gets some interceptions. It's the 3rd season, the first time he's gotten picks. Picks? And Javier Bingham, the backup middle linebacker, also had 2 interceptions. Very interesting. Finally, we make the playoffs. Finally, Patrick Surtain gets his interceptions. And I do want to mention, I did give Patrick Surtain his extension. So if we go over here, Patrick Surtain now has a 7-year, $161 million deal. We extended him. Just thought I'd let you know because he's one of our best players. So I figured we need to know that we re-signed him, and we did. Can we beat the Chargers? This is going to be a big game. I don't know if it's going to be a win for us. It is. 31-21. We go to New England now. Patriots and Broncos have a storied history in the 2010s of big playoff matchups, either going to Mile High or going to Foxborough. Those Brady-Manning matchups in the AFC title game were pretty historic. Can we get the job done? Come on, Denver. I know it's the Patriots. They're my favorite team, but please get a victory. 21-14 loss. We lose in the division of the Patriots. We're just not there yet. I don't know what it's going to take to get us there, but we're just not there yet. We do get a contract extension, which I guess is nice, so we're not going to get fired. But we're just not there yet. It's good improvement from 4 wins the last 2 years to 11 wins. That's a lot better of a season. That's much improved. I'm hoping that the Panthers and Commanders both had bad seasons. This is quite the matchup, by the way, in the Super Bowl. Buccaneers and Texans. CJ Stroud gets the boys to the Super Bowl. Can he get it done? Come on, CJ. Get it done for Buckeye Nation. Yes! CJ Stroud gets a championship. Silence the haters. Good job, CJ. Go Bucks, baby. Go Bucks. And he gets Super Bowl MVP, as he should. Patrick Mahomes gets MVP of the league. CeeDee Lamb and Josh Allen. Josh Allen has swept the Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row now. Brian Taylor, strong safety for the Saints, gets Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Lane West, new quarterback for the Dolphins, because remember, Tua was in free agency. He didn't get picked up by the Dolphins again, so they drafted a quarterback, and he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. So it looks like they got a good quarterback out of the deal as well. I don't know where Tua signed, but he's not in Miami anymore. Let's get to negotiations, because I think there's somebody that I left not signing. Is there? Oh, it's Levi Wallace. That's right. We have Levi Wallace, who's now down to a 77 overall at 30. I was going to say 81 years old. He's 31 years old. And he is... Does he have any value we can squeeze out of him? Can I trade him away for anything? No trade offers. There's got to be some team that's desperate enough to take my man. The Bengals need a corner. What's their cornerback situation? He would be their third corner. They've got 2 young corners in Taylor Britt and DJ Turner. He would be their third corner. They need one. You know what, Cincinnati? I'll do you a favor. I'll give you him basically for nothing. Nigel Presley's an X factor in year 3? Well, year 2 of his career? That's insanity. We had the option to take him. Oh, I can't believe I missed out on Nigel Presley. That makes me sick. Makes me sick. What can I get for my main man here? They got Josh Uche now. Jermaine Pratt's an X factor. What can you give me that I want? Probably Dante Red, or I'll take Jordan Battle too, if you want to give me Jordan Battle. You want to give me Jordan Battle? No, they don't have any money. Cincinnati has no money. How did I not even notice that? Well, who else needs a corner? The Chargers, division rival. Who's their corners? He would be their 4th corner. They don't need a corner. Why are they saying they don't need Levi Wallace. They need corner, but they don't need a guy like Levi Wallace. The Colts need a corner. He would be, nope, can't fit there. Come on, I'm trying to do good. I don't usually do this. I'm trying to be good for Levi Wallace. Give him a good home to go to. He would be the 4th corner in Jacksonville. They don't need him there. Carolina, we just took their draft pick. What else do they have to give me? No, they don't need him. Oh my God, I might as well just trade him to some random team then. If nobody needs him. The Bengals are the only team that it made sense for, but they don't have any money. Stupid Cincinnati. You know what? I'm just going to trade him to a random team. I don't even freaking care if he fits in or not. Give me somebody. I want to squeeze some value out of this man. Give me somebody. Give me... I'd love Kenya McCullough, but they're not going to give... Are they going to give me him? They would. I know that they would. They'd give me this guy. We have the 4th overall pick, the 23rd, and the 27th. You know what? You can have the 27th overall pick for this dude. There you go. You can have him. Take it. Okay, so we get a huge superstar linebacker. That'll help the squad. We give up a first-round pick. I don't care. It's not like we needed the 27th overall pick. Am I serious right now? Quinn Miners must have won Offensive Lineman of the Year because he goes up to freaking big dog superstar. Why in the world did we lose a right tackle? Oh, Garrett Bowles must have retired, so we now need a left tackle because McGlinchey goes over. Uh-oh. I didn't think Bowles would retire. Richards is a superstar now. I'm happy. That's awesome. And defensively, we have McCullough here. You know what we're going to do? We're going to move McCullough to... Browning's an X Factor. Levinson's an X Factor. My God, we are the drafting God. I am a drafting God. Yes, I am. I'm a drafting God. Oh, I'm a drafting God. We're going to move McCullough to outside linebacker. He's going to probably start over Cooper. Move him to outside. Bada bing, bada bang. Oops, I need to move him to left outside, not right outside. That's my bad. We'll move him to left outside linebacker, and then he will pretty much be good to go. He'll be Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang. All right, so we will generate the best lineup. Boom, bang, bang. Bingham and Sanders right there in the middle. Oh, this linebacking core looks a lot sexier now. You love to see it. Safeties are good. Corners are pretty much good. We just need defensive line, I guess. Maybe Zach Allen and maybe a better D tackle. We need to get a left tackle now. I wasn't expecting that. I didn't think Garrett Bowles would retire, if we're being totally honest. Wait. Go back. Did that say Zach Frazier was an 81? Zach Frazier's an 81 at right tackle. Oh, mommy, and we have Tucker too. Oh, we don't need a freaking right tackle anymore. We'll just move Frazier to right tackle. Bada bing, bada bang. Boom, look at that. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. Let's get to free agency. We could still use another left tackle because I don't know if McGlinchey's going to get the job done. I don't know if McGlinchey... Oh, Jalen Waddle. 27 years old. Trey Hendrickson would be cool too. Romeo Dobbs, 87. Oh, mommy. Jalen Waddle, why don't you want to be here, big dog? I want you here. The scheme fit he doesn't like. Well, I can change that. I can change the scheme fit. Don't you worry, child. I can change. That's the wrong thing. I can change the scheme fit. Don't you get it twisted. I can accommodate your needs. We can go to whatever suits your fancy. The spread? You like the spread? You like the spread? Wait, did that say we were in Indiana's playbook? Indianapolis? How did we get to Indianapolis' playbook? Have I not been running Kansas City's playbook the whole time? Well, no wonder we haven't been winning as many games as I thought we would. What am I doing? Have I been in Indiana the whole time? Why do I keep saying Indiana? Indianapolis the whole time? Hey, look at that. He wants to be on the team now. Have I been running Indianapolis' offensive playbook the whole time? No wonder we haven't been winning as many games as we probably should be. I'm such an idiot, bro. How did I not realize I wasn't in the right playbook? Now that makes more sense why we only won 4 games in year 2 when we switched it initially, because it was Indianapolis. And then when we won 11 games this year, I guess that's just because, I don't know, we happen to be good. We got lucky, I guess, in the simulation. The Colts do pretty well in simulation sometimes. That's so stupid, bro. I thought that I was in Kansas City the whole time. Oh, God, I'm a dummy. I'm an absolute dummy. I think I'm going to save the rest of this money. If we get Jalen Waddle, that'll be pretty much all I need to get. We don't really need to go for anything. This draft class is pretty good for defensive linemen, so let's just bring in Jalen Waddle. Boom, that's a huge signing, by the way. That's a huge signing. I can't believe I was in Indianapolis' playbook the whole time. Oh, I'm so dumb, bro. I'm just a dummy. I'm just a big, fat dummy. I'm actually going to move Sutton down a little bit because now we got Waddle, we got Mims, we got Richards. We're looking pretty sexy on the offense. And then on defense, we're looking pretty sexy as well. All right, let's go to the draft. Now that I'm actually, let me just make sure I'm in Kansas City's playbook now, right? Yes, I am in Kansas City's playbook, and we're gonna switch the scheme back now because Jalen Waddle's back on the team, or he's on the team. So we're gonna switch the old scheme. I can't believe I was freaking in Indianapolis's playbook. That makes a lot of sense now. I was wondering why Kansas City's playbook wasn't doing what it does, especially for Greg Dulcich. That makes a lot more sense now. That's why Greg Dulcich wasn't getting the targets he was supposed to be getting, because he wasn't in the Kelsey role. He was in the Mo Alley Cox role. No wonder. God, that makes a lot more sense. I thought I was going a little crazy and that the Kansas City playbook wasn't as overpowered as I thought it was. We'll see how it changes our season in year number 4. That's so crazy, man. I thought for sure I was in the Kansas City playbook. Man, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot more sense. We have number 4 overall pick. We saw that in the trade. Ooh, Quan Youngblood is a round 2 to 3 true talent. Gross. Absolutely disgusting. The number 1 overall pick being a true talent of 2 to 3. That is gag me with a knife. That's disgusting. Who else should we scout? We should probably scout Jalen Swift just to figure out if we need to trade up for him or not. And then we should probably also scout a left tackle because we're probably going to need to take one. It looks like there could be some good ones available. Let's scout this big dog right here, Terrell Thompson, 6'5". All right, so there could be some good left tackles at that Commander pick, or it was either the Commander or the Panthers. I don't know which one. Let's advance to the draft and find out how good those guys actually are. Do we need to trade up for that outside linebacker? We don't necessarily need an outside linebacker, but if he's good enough, we could consider it. He is only around 1 to 2, so that's not worth trading up. The guy that we are projected to take, Sean Peterson, he's around 2 to 3, so maybe these defensive linemen aren't as good as I thought they were going to be. Very interesting. And then what about that left tackle? He is up to 90%. He looks pretty good. It'll probably be either him or Will Turk that we'll take. So when we get there, we'll get there. I don't know what we're going to do at number 4. We might not even draft anybody at number 4. I'm certainly not trading up to number 1 to get this dude. This dude sucks. Quan Youngblood, good luck with that, Atlanta. Jalen Swift, good luck with that. The Lions take a left tackle, and now we are up at number 4. We could take DeMarcus Drake, even though I feel like that'd be a little bit of a letdown. That's a little bit of a reach. He looks like a solid enough player, but not a top 5 pick, I don't think. Sheldon McCrary, Will Harding. I think this is another trade down situation. I hate to do it because, like, we haven't taken a top 5 guy, but it just doesn't seem like there is a top 5 guy available. I thought this draft was going to be good because it said the defensive end and linebackers were like the top of the strengths of the class, but these guys end up being buns. So it looks like we're going to have to move out of this pick. Where do I want to go, though? Do I want to go all the way to 21? That's a little too deep for me, I think. But it might be my only option. Because I do want to still have a high pick in this round. We could go with the Jets at 15. That's not that bad. Philadelphia's giving me a first-round pick next year. That might be pretty decent. I might go with that one. Yeah, let's go with Philadelphia. We'll trade down to 20. We'll get a first-round pick next year as well. I'll be good with that. I will be good with that. Sim to pick number 20. And who's available? Who is available? The center's still available, Andy Gilkey. The center is available, or the corner is available, Nate Calhoun. But we don't really need another corner. We're pretty solid at corner. We are pretty solid at corner. We're pretty solid at strong safety as well. But do we want to take this center, Andy Gilkey? We can always use offensive linemen. We might as well take him. Boom, another offensive lineman grabbed. And then 23, I'll probably grab that left tackle. Because he's probably pretty good. Terrell Thompson, welcome to the squad, big dog. Boom. I'll take it. That's a pretty solid pickup. And now we have pick 4, the second round. Who do we want to take? I don't know. It could be another left tackle, I guess. No, probably not him. Will Turk was the other guy that I was considering, but he looks okay, just not amazing. Who's this guy? Sean Wallace. We don't really need another receiver because we got Jalen Waddle now. He looks pretty decent. We need defensive line is what we need. But it doesn't look like there's anybody that's worth taking. Brian Peralta, maybe? I mean, he doesn't look great, but he looks like the best of the bunch. Which is not saying much, really. DeMarcus Bonner. What's our other draft pick? We have pick 27. I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think either of them are going to be there. I'll take Brian Peralta. He's going to be normal development. Yeah. I don't know how good he's going to be. Maybe he ends up being solid for us. He might just end up being depth. Might just end up being depth. Oh, Juan McLean got taken. I was going to consider him. I was definitely going to consider taking him. Both those D tackles got grabbed. Man, I probably should have grabbed one of them. I thought that he'd still be there, though. Enrique Bulla looks good enough. All right, Enrique, welcome to the squad. That's probably going to be the last pick that I make, though. Because now we don't pick again to the 4th round. So let's just end the draft there. I feel like we did a good enough job. I mean, we traded out of the pick to get another 1st-round pick from Philadelphia next year. We still were able to grab some good hidden development offensive linemen. So I can't be too mad about that. 75 overall for Gilkey, 73 for Thompson, 72 for both Bulla and Peralta. And the rest of the guys are kind of misses, but that's okay. At this point, oh, another fullback at the top of the class. At this point, we're drafting for depth. We're not really drafting to be needs on the starting rotation because we are pretty much good to go. And now that we're officially in Kansas City's playbook, that helps out a lot. Let me just make sure one more time. Are we actually in Kansas City's playbooks? Okay. We're in Kansas City's offensive playbook. Do we need to switch this anymore? No, the scheme is still there. And the scheme is still okay. Perfect. So now that we are officially in Kansas City's playbook, even though I thought we were 2 years ago in Kansas City's playbook, we're still going to rock with it. At least now we know that Indianapolis isn't that great of a playbook. All right, so we should see Greg Dulcich skyrocket now officially. We should see Bo Nix do well. Marvin Mims is going to be our number 2 receiver. Richards is going to be our number 3 receiver. And then on the defense, we're now running a 4-3, which is fine. Not amazing, but it's fine. I kind of don't want to run a 4-3. I know it's a 80% scheme fit, but I kind of want to run a 3-4. Let's run a 3-4 under. I kind of want... we have better linebackers than we have better defensive linemen, so yeah, this is a little bit better. I like this a little bit more. Okay, so we'll see how we go with our team now actually in the correct playbooks. I'm expecting us to have a really good season. So now that I actually do have the Kansas City playbook installed and active, we only won one more game than with the Colts playbook, but hey, it's one more game we didn't have last year. We still win the division, but unfortunately we do have to play the Kansas City Chiefs, which is not that easy of a game. But the main thing is, I did see that Caleb Williams, or Bo Nix, he did lead the league in passing yards. This is the quarterback I was expecting the past 2 seasons. Indianapolis playbook is stupid. This is the playbook you should be using because Bo Nix balled out. He could win MVP this year. He's got under 10 interceptions. He's got 50 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. That's an MVP type of season. We'll just have to hope that nobody else did similar numbers. Javonte Williams had a very good year. There it is. That's the Greg Dulcich I was expecting. He wasn't getting the usage because he was in the Mo Alley Cox role. That's the numbers I was expecting. Marvin Mims had a great year as well. Everybody was... When the quarterback's feasting, everybody's feasting. Everybody did really, really, really well. Even Terrence Richards did really good. Defensively, the Detroit Lion playbook seems to be helping us out a lot. Kenya McCullough was a nice addition. 102 tackles for him. 14 tackles for loss for Franklin Myers. 12 for Zach Allen. 10 sacks for Baron Brown, and he's just a stud. And then 3 picks for Drew Sanders as well. Love to see it. Love to see it. We move again to the division or to the wild card game against the Kansas City Chiefs. This is by no means easy. Kansas City is never easy to play in real life or in the game. We beat them by a touchdown. That's huge. But now we play the Super Bowl champions. CJ Stroud coming off of a championship game, or a championship win. He's a 99 X factor. This is not going to be easy, but we've got a young stud in Bo Nix. Can we get it done? And we lose again. Unfortunate, but I do think that now next year will be the final year. I really do think that. I think that next year, with the additions that we're going to have, the upgrades on the development traits, Dulcich is going to be a superstar. Bo Nix is going to be a star. So I'm assuming that these upgrades are going to help us out. And, I mean, Bo Nix won MVP because he's got 2 upgrade points. So he's now an 87 overall. He's going to have superstar development, I would assume, now because he won an MVP. So it's Jacksonville versus Dallas. CJ didn't even beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So that's kind of annoying. And it is going to be the Jags. So Josh Allen gets a championship after winning 3 straight defensive player. He might have won 4 straight defensive player of the years. I haven't seen the awards yet. Did he win another? He did. Josh Allen has won all 4 defensive player of the years, and now he's got a Super Bowl. Bo Nix wins MVP and offensive player of the year. He might be an X factor. There's a good chance that he's an X factor. Because he gets the boost from winning MVP. He gets the natural boost of just having a good season. What is his development trait? Okay, he's only a superstar. That's fine. But now we have 3 superstar receivers because Marvin Mims has gone up. We already had Richards. Now we have 3 superstar wide receivers. Our offensive line's looking real sexy. Dulcich is now up to superstar. Defensively, nobody else changes, but that's okay because we're still looking pretty good. I wish that Mathis would go up to star. It's kind of annoying that he isn't. But we're looking pretty good. Now we're in a position where we just take best player available in the draft, and we are good to go for Season 5. We're going to be looking real good. Although I don't know what the negotiations are looking like. What are the negotiations looking like for contracts? Who needs a new one? We don't have a ton of money. We got $19 million. Who needs a new contract? Marvin Mims and Drew Sanders and Trey Taylor and Angelo. Oh, we can just accept his option. Perfect. And Bo Nix needs a new contract. No. Okay, we're going to get expensive here. We're not going to be signing any free agents. We're going to go and restructure some contracts. That'll help us out. We're going to go and restructure some contracts to be able to... We got to get Bo Nix back. That's obvious. So let's go here. Let's restructure Patrick Surtain's contract. We'll restructure Jalen Waddles. We will restructure Cortland Sutton, Jonathan Cooper, Zach Allen, Baron Browning. Who else? Franklin Myers, Greg Dulcich, and probably Quinn Miners, and then we'll see where that leaves us. So we'll do that. Perfect. Okay, where does that leave us in terms of cap room? That leaves us with $52 million. Well, we got to sign Bo Nix first. That's got to be our first priority. So he's 27. We'll give him a 5-year deal. We'll give him $14 million on $14 million, and he says that's good. Perfect. We got to get Marvin Mims back, so we'll give him a 4-year deal, and hopefully he accepts that, and he does. And then at $17 million, we got to get Zach Frazier back. We got to get Trey Taylor back, and we got to get Drew Sanders back. They're all not super expensive, so let's offer Drew Sanders a 4-year contract. We'll go up to $5 million on each. He accepts. That leaves us with $8 million. We can get Trey Taylor back. We'll give him a 5-year deal. We'll give him $4 million and then $3 million. And he comes back. So that leaves us with $2.8 million. We need to restructure a couple of more deals. We don't really need Mello Harrison back. None of these guys. Shaq Leonard's been cool, but he's down to a 69 overall, so he's not worth it. We need to restructure maybe 2 or 3 more contracts, and then we should be able to have enough to bring back that last guy. So let's restructure. I can restructure Marvin Mims, funny enough. Brandon Jones. Then we'll restructure Javonte Williams. And Theo Johnson. That should give us enough money to bring back the last guy. That leaves us with $8.6 million. That's actually not as much money as I thought it would leave us with. But luckily he wants to be here. So we'll give him a 4-year deal. $4 million across the board. He accepts. Perfect. So that leaves us with 1.6 million. We're not going to bring anybody else back. Just enough money. Just enough money to bring everybody back. If Bo Nix didn't need a new contract, we would have been in a really good spot there. We wouldn't have had to pay any money like that. But that's kind of frustrating. I'm not even going to look at free agency because I don't want to get tempted and want to grab somebody that I know I can't afford. So we might as well just go straight to the draft. Take a look at what our draft picks are doing. I'm assuming the Eagles did very well, but I didn't see them in the finals. They could have been eliminated early in the playoffs. That's a possibility. But I'm assuming they did pretty good, so their draft pick's probably not going to be good. And I think this is the... We don't have the command... I think we used all the commander picks. So I think we only have 2. We should only have 2 at least. Unless I'm forgetting one. All right, mock draft number 5. We are picking at number 20 and 27. So I'm assuming that this is the Eagle pick and this is our pick. I don't know for sure. I could check, but I don't really care to. So we only have 2 first-round picks. I was right about that. Do I want to trade up for anything? I don't think we need to. I think we should just stay at best player available and ride it out with that. It's not like we need anything specifically, and I don't think that this draft class is going to be overwhelmingly great. I mean, maybe we could use an extra D tackle, but there's not a D tackle at the top of the class. I mean, yeah, this defensive line class does not seem to be that great. I did use my focus, or my national focus on outside linebackers because it was one of the strengths. So I think we just focus on D tackles and we ride it out with these guys. So let's just scout like some of the top D tackles in the class. Maybe this guy. We'll just scout those 3 D tackles. We could always use one. And if we draft another linebacker, if we draft another outside linebacker, we can just move somebody down to the defensive line. It's not that big of a deal. And we should be good to go. So how good were those guys? How good were those guys? They are 90%. They don't look all that good. Jeremiah Day probably is the best one out of the bunch, or at least out of the ones that I scouted. Randy Sally is a 6'1" speed rusher. He's decent athletically. He looks like he could be a good second option, but I think Jeremiah Day might be the better, or might be the best one. So if we go into here, where's Jeremiah Day at? Is he even projected to go first round? Jeremiah Day is 25. So if we wanted Jeremiah Day, we'd have to trade up 27 to 25, which is not that big of a trade up. I might just go ahead and do that. Let's just go and trade with Carolina. Again, funny enough. We'll trade pick 27 to Carolina to get 25. They should just take this straight up, I would think. Oops. And they don't. Very close. We'll give them a 2029 7th round pick. Just click the thing. There we go. And they declined it. Okay, fine. We'll give them a 2028 7th round pick. And they accepted it. Perfect. So 2 7s plus 27 gets us 25. That can take Jeremiah Day. The other one at 20, we can just take somebody, I guess. I don't really know. Number 1 pick in the draft. I didn't mean to hit the draft board. It's probably going to be a quarterback. I don't remember what the mock draft said. I wasn't really paying attention. It is not a quarterback. It's Devin Rhodes. Okay. So we go to pick 20. Who's available? Who is available? The quarterback is still there. If we needed a quarterback, I'd take him. Who's this guy? Lionel? Is it Lionel? It could be Lionel. It could be Lionel. I'm going to give him the accent. I'm going to give him Lionel. But I'm not going to take him, I don't think, because he's not super fast. If he was fast, I would go for him every day of the week. Denzel Walden is a 5'9" speed receiver. Could be good. There's Jeremiah Day. We'll take him at 25. We either take this corner, Morgan Simmons, or he didn't go to either the combine or his own pro day. We either take him or we take... What about this free safety? Amir Stewart. Amir Stewart. 89 speed, 94 acceleration, so we grab a free safety. We don't really need a free safety, but maybe we do. You never know. And then hopefully Jeremiah Day is still here at 25, because that was the goal. Is he still here? Jeremiah Day is still available. We will grab him. He's only normal development, but he's more depth on the defensive line because DJ Jones is getting a little bit older at this point. And I don't think this D-tackle class is too great in the first place. Still some quarterbacks on the board. Still some receivers. Who's this tight end? John Harden, James's cousin. We'll take him. Add another tight end to the team along with Greg Dulcich. It's not like we need another tight end, especially with Dulcich in the Kansas City playbook, but it'll help some depth. It'll help some depth. I probably should take a quarterback to back up big dog Bo Nix, but not in the third round. Receivers, tight ends, tackles, guards, center, Grant Batch. We'll take him. Be some offensive line depth, and that's going to be all that I do because I don't really care to draft anybody else. We don't really need to focus on draft picks. They're not going to help us in the end anyway. So this is year number 5, right? Year number 5. We're actually in the Kansas City playbook. We've made the playoffs the past couple of seasons, but this year I think is our year. Stewart's actually an 80 overall. Wow. Jeremiah Day's a 78, so I hit with my first 2 picks. That's absolutely true. We actually got some pretty decent players in this class. This might have been one of our best draft classes. We got the best player in the class with Amir Stewart. I'll take that. That's big money. That's huge. I wasn't even thinking he was going to be that good. I thought he'd be maybe like a 76 or something like that. He's an 80 overall, good player. We'll add him to the team. And I think we could win a championship this year. I think we've got the squad built around. Frazier moves to left tackle. McGlinchey's at right tackle. Fine with that. We've got 3 great receivers. 4, really, if you count Sutton. We've got a great running back, a great quarterback, a great tight end. On the defense, our defense is looking pretty sexy. And then Jeremiah Day will start at D-tackle number 1 because he's a higher overall right off the bat than Weston. So I'm fine with that. Our team looks good. Our team looks really, really good. We are ready to win a championship. I think we can do it this year. I will see you guys at the end of the season, hopefully, with the number 1 seed. Well, I think we've finally done it. The Chiefs playbook got us 15 wins. Last year, it got us the MVP with Bo Nix. This year, it gets us the number 1 seed in the AFC and 15 wins. Finally, we don't have to go through the wild card to get to the divisional round. We can just start there. I really do think that things are turning around for us. I really do think that this is going to be the year we win the championship. I hope so, because I don't know if I have enough money to re-sign enough people to get us another season. It's going to be very close. But 4,600 yards, 75 touchdowns, 8 picks for Bo Nix. Not as dominant of a season he's had last year, but he still got us enough wins to get the job done, so it doesn't really matter what his numbers do. Javonte Williams had a killer year. Dulcich had another killer year. That's going to be X factor for him. Waddle, 1,000 yards. Mims, 1,000 yards. Richards, 1,000 yards. 4 1,000-yard receivers for Bo Nix is kind of insane. Defensively, Drew Sanders again leads the team. He's a stud. Kenyon McCullough is a big addition. Levingston is really good as well. 14 tackles lost to John Franklin Myers. He's ended up becoming like an underrated stud. Sack leader is Baron Browning with 12.5. Then it kind of drops off a little bit. Pick leader, there is Surtain with 2. 3 guys actually had 2, and then a couple guys had 1. Okay, there we have it. Hopefully, what is our final stats of the season, or of the rebuild, I'm hoping we can beat the Colts, and we do. Thank the Lord we beat the Colts. We will jump in and play against the Titans to hopefully help Bo Nix and the Broncos get the job done and go to a Super Bowl. Oh, do we need this? Here we are in the AFC title game, Broncos and Titans. And when I was loading in, I don't think I saw Will Levis as the starting quarterback at Tennessee, so it looks like they've moved on from him. Very interesting there. It's 9-7. I don't know. We must have got a safety or something. 9-7. We get a field goal. It's 12-7. Come on, put up some touchdowns, offense. Come on. The defense is doing their job. Offense needs to do something. Another field goal. It's 15-7. But the defense is killing it. Put up another touchdown. Ice this game. There it is. 22-7. They put up a touchdown, but that's got to be it. It's got to be it. Come on. Hold on. Hold on. They got it, but they only have 20 points. 14 seconds left, and we hold on for the victory. Denver is going back to the Super Bowl for the first time since they won it with Peyton Manning. Oh my God, we are going back. We held on. Our defense did just enough to get us this AFC title. Bo Nix will start for the Broncos in the Super Bowl, the former league MVP. And who knows, maybe he won it again this year. I doubt it, because he didn't lead the league in touchdowns or yards, so he probably didn't get it. But he's got one already, so I'll take that. And we will take on the Green Bay Packers. And probably Jordan Love. I don't know if he's still there. I would assume he is. 10-7, they're not that good of a football team. We can get this done. We can win our Super Bowl and rebuild the Denver Broncos. So while I was loading in, I did see that it is, in fact, Jordan Love quarterbacking the Packers here. This feels like a very old school matchup. Broncos and Packers from the 90s getting the job done here in the Super Bowl again. It's 17-14. Now it's 20-14. Things are getting a little out of hand. Let's come back here. Come on, Bo. There we go. 21-20. End of the half, they kick a field goal. But we get a touchdown, 28-23. Let's put another one up. Come on. Okay, 29-28. Put another touchdown in, please. A field goal's good enough, I guess. Come on, boys. Come on. Fight for your right to party. Score a touchdown, please. 39-36. Just hold on. We did it. The Denver Broncos are world champions. 39-36. What a wild Super Bowl. Bo Nix is a champion. He's an MVP and a Super Bowl champion. We did it. We rebuilt the Denver Broncos back to greatness. Oh, what a game. That was a wild ending. That would have been a great Super Bowl to watch. High scoring, thrilling to the very last minutes. And the boys are, in fact, on top of the football world once again. Unfortunately, nobody from that Peyton Manning team is still on this team. But that's okay, because this is a new generation, a new Denver Bronco team, and world champions again. 357 and 4 touchdowns for Bo Nix. If he doesn't win Super Bowl MVP, I'm going to be upset. What a game. What a rebuild. This was one of the better rebuilds I've done. I know it took a little bit longer because I forgot that I thought that I was in the Kansas City playbook earlier than I was. That probably halted our development a little bit longer than it should have. But we realized it. We got it fixed. If I would have went this whole rebuild not knowing I wasn't in Kansas City's playbook, I would have been furious. It would have taken me way longer than what it just did. But it's a Super Bowl for the good guys. Bo Nix does win Super Bowl MVP. Mahomes gets MVP of the league. We get Coach of the Year, Sean Payton. CeeDee Lamb and Dallas Turner are your players of the year. But we did it. We did it. We are the world champions. This is what the final roster looks like. We don't have any money, but it's okay. We don't need money when you got a championship. Bo Nix finishes as an X Factor. This dude right here was a surprise. Terrence Richards. If we didn't have... Oh my God, he's killer. I haven't even looked at his stats in a while. He's amazing. But if we didn't have these kind of great receivers like Marvin Mims and Jalen Waddle and Cortland Sutton, Terrence Richards would have been our number one receiver most likely. But he's a stud. We drafted this dude who was a stud, Antoine Tucker. Ends up being a really good meatball for us. And then who else did we draft on the offensive line? Not really anybody too crazy. This guy was okay. Terrell Thompson, he never really got a shot to turn into anything. It's just a backup. But he was fine. He was all good. This tight end never really got a shot. He could be a star if he starts over Greg Dulcich, but now Dulcich is an X factor, so he doesn't really need to. But the defense is where we made our money. We drafted this dude, Bingham, Javier Bingham, Studley, good player. Obviously, we developed Drew Sanders. We traded for this guy, Kenya McCullough. That was the trade we got with Zach Wilson, right? We sent Zach Wilson to whatever team, and we got Kenya McCullough back. I think it might have been, was it Tampa? Atlanta? It was a red team, I think. We got Kenya McCullough back. He was an amazing pickup. We had Baron Browning, who was already a stud. We drafted this dude who's a freaking stud, Darrell Livingston. Didn't even know he was going to be this good. He's an amazing player. Then we took this guy who was the best player in the class this past year, Amir Stewart. He's a superstar development player now. He's amazing. So we've got a replacement for Brandon Jones whenever the time comes. We drafted this guy who was normal development, but he was a high enough overall to start right away, and he's going to become an amazing player. He's not star development after the season, but still, he's going to be a great player for us. We got ourselves this dude who we traded for, Trey Taylor. I forget who we traded away to get him. I can't remember off the top of my head, but he's amazing. He was originally a strong safety that we moved to corner. Obviously, Patrick Surtain. And then this guy was one of our first overall picks. Angelo Timmons. He might have been the first pick that we made. He didn't really get a chance to shine, but that's okay because he's still a really good player. But yeah, this little draft class, this defensive unit I've built, pretty solid. Pretty darn good, if you ask me. And that's going to do it for the Broncos rebuild. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave it a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Thank you so much for stopping by and watch. I truly appreciate it. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.